Adam Tragone's with us. He's managing editor of Human Events. We'll talk a little bit about the primary results. Adam, in Michigan, we had basically a tie with Romney and Santorum, 41-38, but with proportional delegate appointment, it's about 15 delegates each, I believe. Arizona, Romney had a bigger win, 47-27 over Santorum. Gingrich has all but disappeared from this race, in my opinion. Is this basically Romney-Santorum at this point? And number two, is there even really a clear leader right now, given the delegate counts?
Well, I think in regard to your first question, David, I think Newt Gingrich has a small path forward. It's all going to depend on how Santorum campaigns leading up to Tuesday. Right now, polls are showing him ahead in some conservative-leaning states in the South, such as Georgia, Newt Gingrich's home state, Tennessee, and in the Midwest and Oklahoma. Those three states are going to be a battleground for the more conservative candidates such as Newt and Senator Santorum. So it's all going to depend on how Rick Santorum campaigns in those places and others, such as Ohio maybe, and elsewhere, whether or not he can sustain some sort of momentum to keep Speaker Gingrich in the third, fourth place range.
Do you agree that the longer this goes on, the better it is for President Obama's reelection chances?
Well, I think certainly it damages some of the candidates. Without question, there are glaring problems with Mitt Romney and with Rick Santorum and Speaker Gingrich and Representative Paul. Certainly, as they beat each other up with super PAC ads, with what have you, the weaknesses will be there to exploit, and certainly the president has the ground game, the resources to certainly exploit them.
Are there any Republican insiders that you're aware of that are kind of writing off this race and saying, let's get through 2012 with as little damage to the party as possible so we can fundraise to really come back strong in 16?
Yeah, one noted Republican insider, to use your word, David, Karl Rove on Fox News a few days ago, was basically taking that to heart and saying that, we have a deep bench in 2016. He's referencing people like Mitch Daniels maybe coming out and Chris Christie, Paul Ryan, those types. Let's just pack it in 2012 and work to 2016 to get an even better candidate. So Karl Rove is one, and I would imagine he's probably not alone.
And when you reference Mitch Daniels coming out, you don't mean in that he's coming out of the closet, so to speak. He just may be a candidate.
No, coming out to run for president. I know that he's certainly been
is not gay, yeah.
No, he's certainly been talked about in this cycle to come and run for president, but he has said countless times he's fine with what he's doing right now.
So which area of the Republican Party right now do you think is pulling the strongest? And when I say area, I see the Republican Party as pretty fragmented between the kind of religious right, the more pro-business group in the Republican Party. You have the Tea Party side, then the libertarian bunch that tends to favor Ron Paul. I mean, at least those divisions. There may be more. Which is closest to the actual people donating most of the money to Republicans?
Well, money, I mean, that's a different type of question. I haven't looked hard at the numbers in terms of donations, David, but certainly I think, as you see with Michigan's results, you see a lot of voters, because Republicans and Democrats could have voted in that primary. Many of those voters are predominantly, they want to see Barack Obama defeated in November, and they feel that Mitt Romney poses the best chance to do that based on his business background and his time at Bain Capital and his time at resurrecting some companies that definitely were on the downturn and creating jobs from that. I think those voters, in their minds, they see Mitt Romney as someone that has the best shot in a general election to defeat President Obama, because he can attract moderates, he can attract independents with that background as a business leader.
Sure, and as you and I have talked about before, we don't need to rehash it. If people look further at that business background, they would say, hey, we have no evidence that having a business background is actually good for being president, and they would see all the jobs that he killed by bankrupting a lot of those companies and selling them. But we don't need to rehash that, because I know you and I have spoken about that.
Right.
What needs to happen Super Tuesday? I mean, Mitt Romney will realistically get Massachusetts, he'll get Vermont, He'll probably get Virginia since a lot of people aren't even on the ballot there. But that means what? If he gets those plus Ohio, he's in good shape? I mean, what needs to happen?
Well, I think in terms of numbers, David, you will look at 49 electoral votes from Virginia, and that'll be a slam dunk since he and Ron Paul are the only ones on the ballot. So he'll win that handily. Yes, like you said, he'll win Massachusetts most likely. Vermont will be there as well. But he's going to go hardcore into Ohio since that's a battleground state. No Republican has won that state without winning has never won the presidency without winning that state in the general election in November. So he's going to put most of his money and his time and energy into Ohio. He was there the day after, on Wednesday, the day after the primary in Michigan and Arizona. So he's already looking to Ohio as a place where he has to win, because you have a lot of blue-collar folks in that state, David, who I believe will still resonate, even as Rick Santorum, in my opinion, blew his opportunity to win in Michigan. A lot of the blue-collar voters that exist in Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, still see Rick Santorum as someone that they could vote for, because he, in their minds, is resonating with them with some of the messages about manufacturing and things like that.
All right, Adam Tragone, managing editor of Human Events. Great to talk to you, Adam. Thanks.
Great to talk to you too, David. Take care.